Hola amigos, al habla jacobonix, os doy la bienvenida al segundo vídeo de Stanley Parable. En el vídeo anterior nos quedamos con estas preciosas vistas, estos lugares hermosos que estáis viendo en pantalla. Y no tenéis el peceroto ni el vídeo está dañado. Es que el vídeo se había quedado con en negro, no el vídeo, el juego, porque acabamos de morir. Por lo tanto, tenemos que regresar al menú o darle, bueno, le voy a dar a volver a comenzar la partida, porque si regreso al menú no creo que ocurra nada, porque tendré que volver a cargar la partida. Por lo tanto, tenemos el botón rápido de recargar la partida, que sería como volver al menú y darle a volver a intentar. Así que nada, vamos a ver qué nos espera. Estoy grabando esto incluso antes de que vosotros hayáis visto el primer vídeo. ¿Por qué? Diréis, jacobonix, pero nosotros aún no habíamos opinado si queremos que subas el segundo vídeo. Ya lo sé, es que me dio a mí por ahí grabar el segundo vídeo antes de subir el primero, porque sabía que os gustaría, que el juego os gustaría, ¿vale? Así que aquí estamos, de nuevo en las oficinas.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Bien. Odio los lunes. Yo también, amigo.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Vamos a ver. Yendo por aquí, ¿cuál es la otra alternativa? Ir, encontrarme con... Ah, sí, las escaleras. Si voy donde están las escaleras, puedo bajar en vez de subir. Es como un juego de memoria. Tienes que recordar por dónde fuiste y por dónde tienes que ir. Por dónde te falta por ir.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office,
Sí,
hoping he
calla.
might... Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Me da la impresión que no se ha guardado, ¿eh? Todo lo que he hecho, todo el progreso no sigue en pie. Por lo tanto, amigos, os va a parecer una tontería, pero voy a rejugar todo. Sí, voy a rejugar todo y cuando haya vuelto más o menos aquí, son cosas mías. Luego os lo voy a explicar. Amigos, para que veáis lo estúpido que soy, por favor, perdonadme, pero soy tonto. Me pensaba que me emparanoié solo, lo siento. No me vais a entender. Es que no me vais a entender. Por lo tanto, olvidaoslo. Me pensé que faltaba una cosa por hacer en este juego. Por lo tanto, nada, da igual. Lo siento, no volverá a ocurrir. Es que me he liado. No, voy a ir abajo. Me he liado, lo siento.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange, this can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming!
Estoy soñando.
This is all a dream.
Es muy posible, ¿eh?
Relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. and he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons.
No hace falta que
I
siga
may as
caminando
well enjoy
porque
this while
se
I'm still
repiten.
lucid. So,
Las alas se
he
repiten.
imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the
¿Demonios?
ground.
Estoy
Then
volando.
he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared. It
Dios.
was so much fun, and Stanley
Qué
marveled
guapo.
that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so
Qué
lucid?
guapo.
And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all
paradoja.
very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all
Es un
people in their
bucle.
dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
Nope. Sigues aquí, Stanley.
Stanley
No
began
te has
screaming.
movido ni un centímetro.
Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Me ha asustado el sonido ese. Joder.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed,
Mariela.
gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day,
Ese
her
soy yo.
walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon
Stanley,
turn
ha
to go
muerto.
call for an ambulance,
Se ha vuelto loco y ha
for just
muerto.
a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind.
No estás muy
I
cuerda.
know what is real and what isn't.
Estás mirando a un cadáver y estás diciendo que eres una persona normal.
Seeing this man made her feel better.
Pero ¿qué clase de persona mira a un cadáver y dice qué bien que yo sea normal? Lo normal es que se desesperara.
And by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
¿Entendés la ironía? Qué bien que sea una persona normal. Por eso voy a pararme a mirar un cadáver diciendo qué bien que sea una persona normal. No. En fin, esto ha cambiado. Lo veo distinto. Este lugar es distinto. El pasillo este no era así. ¿Qué? Me han... me han acortado el camino.
Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors. He entered the door on his left.
Vamos a ver. A la izquierda me encontraba con las escaleras. Bajaba. Si bajo me vuelvo loco y me encuentran muerto en una acera. Y una mujer me dice... se para mirándome y bueno. Llego arriba... y tengo otros 2 finales. El final donde me aplasta. Y el final. Bueno, 3 finales. El de la bomba atómica. Y el de la escapatoria. En el que logro escapar.
No hay más. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Sí. Vamos a ir ahí.
Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Vamos a apreciar esta sala. Tenemos aquí una máquina de bebidas.
Yes, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
En fin. A ver,
At
tenemos
this
aquí
point,
unas
Stanley's
notas.
obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
O sea, todos se han ido porque tengo una personalidad mala. Porque soy antipático.
Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message.
Coffee nut. Hay más tazas. Fuel. Es decir, combustible. ¿Quién bebe combustible? ¿A quién le gusta la gasolina? Y el cantante sale con una taza de fuel, de combustible. Esto me recuerda a la escapatoria. El camino, la montaña, las farolas, o sea, los postes de luz y las nubes. Y nunca me he parado a mirar realmente lo que salen los... Un océano, unas hojas, una montaña. Bueno.
But at last he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door.
Ha sido impresionante, en serio, lo mejor que he visto en mi vida. Esa habitación, esa sala, en serio. No he visto cosa más bella. Me he enamorado de una sala. No. Ha dicho que tomó la primera puerta a la izquierda. Esta, que me llevaría al otro camino. No, pues... No voy a ir por ahí. ¿O sí? Venga, va.
And so he detoured through the maintenance section, walked straight ahead to the opposite door, and got back on track.
No. Esto me lleva por el camino normal, a la izquierda. La puerta de la izquierda, ¿no? Pues yo voy a ir por aquí, si me lo permite. Sí. Esto es un final más. Esto es un final más. Una alternativa más para acabar este juego.
But Stanley didn't want to go back to the office. He wanted to wander about and get even further off track. So now in order to get back, he needed to go, from here it's, left.
Pues yo voy a ir a la derecha. Vale, no puedo. Aquí tampoco. Aquí tampoco. Aquí tampoco. Vale, a la izquierda.
Oh, no, it's to the right, my mistake.
Te estás quedando conmigo, ¿no? Pues aquí tampoco. Aquí ya.
No.
Este tipo se burla de mí.
Why would I have ever said it was to the right? What was I thinking? It's clearly... Oh dear, would you hold on for a minute, please? Let's
A
see.
ver.
We went down, right,
Tan,
left,
tan, tan, tan.
down,
Música de
left,
ascensor.
right. Yep. Okay. Yes, I've got it now. This story is absolutely, definitely this way.
¿Estás seguro? Porque como me cierres la persiana encima te mato. Como me cierres la persiana, en serio. Tengo un vocabulario más amplio que... En fin. Como me bajes la persiana.
No. This isn't right at all. You're not supposed to be here yet. This is all a spoiler.
Oh,
Quick,
no.
Stanley, close your eyes. Okay.
Me has spoileado el final del juego. Este es el... ¿Y si no hubiese visto esto hasta ahora? Menos mal que no es un spoiler.
The whole story completely unusable.
Casi me spoilean.
How about, rather than waste my time trying to salvage this nonsense, we'll just restart the game from the beginning. And this time, suppose we don't wander so far off track, hmm? Okay, from the top.
Casi me spoilea el juego. El otro final. Por poco, ¿eh? Menos mal que ya lo he visto. Bien.
All of his co-workers were gone. What
Habían
could it
desaparecido.
mean?
¿Qué
Stanley
podría
decided to
ser?
go to the meeting
Stanley
room.
decidió ir a la
Perhaps
sala
he
de
had simply
reuniones.
missed a memo.
Quizás simplemente se le había perdido un memo. ¿Y qué es un memo? Un memo, es que un memo en castellano es un tontaco, un estúpido. Se me ha perdido un estúpido. Pues creo que es el narrador.
When Stanley... Wait, what? No, I restarted. I swear I definitely restarted the game over, completely fresh. Everything should be... Oh, did something change? Stanley, did you change anything when we were back in that room with all the monitors?
Yo no he
Did you
cambiado
move
nada.
the story somewhere, or... Hold on. Why am I asking you? I'm the one who wrote the story. It was right here just a minute ago.
Es
I
tu
know for
culpa.
sure that it's here somewhere. Okay, then.
Me echa la culpa a mí. Como si
Come,
yo hubiese...
Stanley. Let's find the story.
¿Acaso es mi culpa? El tipo tiene los papeles más desordenados que esto que estáis viendo enfrente. Los tiene por ahí tirados. Y luego pasa esto. A ver, ¿por qué puerta entro? Porque hay bastantes. Voy a entrar por esta. Esto lleva a lo mismo. Y esto... Me estoy perdiendo. ¿En serio?
I'll say it. This is the worst adventure I've ever been on. I can promise you there definitely was a story here before. Do we need to restart the game again?
He entrado...
Well, I find it
¿Por
unlikely
dónde he
that we'll ever
entrado?
progress by starting over and over again, but it's got to be better than this. Okay, let's give it a shot. Why not?
Me he perdido. No sé. A ver, en mi taza, ¿qué pone? Odio los lunes. Se nota que Stanley es
All
una
of his
persona.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
En esta taza, la amarilla, pone: me gusta trabajar. Tan solo que odio a mi jefe. Quiero una taza de esas para cuando trabaje. Me gusta trabajar, tan solo odio a mi jefe. Y entonces cuando pasa el jefe y ve mi taza y me asciende.
Okay, yep, it's worse. I might be remembering this wrong. It's possible the story is back where we just came from. Why don't we go back the other direction and see if we missed anything?
¿En serio? Ahora no hay ni tan solo una puerta. Odio los lunes. Combustible. Tenemos que buscar la historia.
Aha! I knew we'd miss something. The story. Here it comes.
A ver, historia.
No, wait, never mind. Not the story. Okay, let's head back the other way and retrace our steps.
¿Os dais cuenta que lo que acabamos de hacer no tiene ningún sentido? Esto de doblar la esquina y encontrarse con otra con más pasillo y más pasillo y más pasillo. Porque en teoría aquí mismo debía de estar la puerta por la que entramos. según mis cálculos. Más o menos. Por aquí estaba la puerta por la que entramos. Y ahora hay un pasillo. Este juego es un mindfuck, en serio. Os lo he dicho, es que no tiene sentido. ¿Y por qué se ve tan rojiza el tono de la imagen? Se ve con un tono rojo.
Now this... Well, I'll be honest, I don't recognize this place at all. Is this the story? I don't think so. I can't quite recall, but I believe my story took place in an office building. Is that correct? Do you remember, Stanley? Well, do you know what? Since I've completely forgotten what we were supposed to be doing, how about this? You win! Congratulations!
¿Qué?
I know you put in a lot of hard work, and it really paid off, so good job. Oh, no. No, I don't feel right about this at all. We both know you didn't put in any actual work for that win. Some people win fair and square, and this was not one of those situations. Okay?
No he ganado porque tú eres tonto.
By whatever this place is. I don't care what might happen this
Y me das
time.
indicaciones
I have to restart.
tontas. Reiniciar. Otra vez. ¿Cuántas veces vamos a reiniciar? Stanley Parable
Alright,
Adventure
I've got
Line.
a solution. This
Adventure
time, to
Line.
make sure we don't get lost, I've employed the help of the Stanley Parable Adventure Line. Just follow the line. How simple is that?
En serio. Vale. Vamos a seguir la línea. A ver si... ¿Qué es esto? No, aquí no se viene a jugar. No podéis jugar aquí. Aquí se trabaja. Ni cartas, ni Counter Strike, ni nada. ¿Qué hacéis? En serio. Y yo me sigo preguntando dónde están los otros trabajadores.
Where the story is. It's over in this direction. Onward, Stanley, to destiny. Though, here's a thought. Wouldn't wherever we end up be our destination, even if there's no story there? Or to put it another way, is the story of no destination still a story? Simply by the act of moving forward, are we implying a journey such that a destination is inevitably conjured into being via the very manifestation of the nature of life itself? Okay, Stanley, I need to follow this train of thought for a minute. Just stick with me. Now, we can both agree that the nature of existence is in fact a byproduct of one's subjective experience of that existence, right?
Cierto.
Okay. Now, if my experience of your existence rests inside of your subjective experience of this office, is this office, in fact, the skeleton of my own relative experiential mental subjective construct? Whoa.
Yo creo que es lo otro.
That got a bit weird back there. Well, I'd like to apologize. Not sure where I was going with all that. You know what? I think what we need right now is a bit of music to lighten the mood.
En serio, ahora música. Tazas. Porque los lunes en mi Valentín necesito... No se entiende. Y no sé cómo me sé esta canción si la acabo de escuchar. ¿Puedo tomar este atajo? ¿Lo tomo o no? Va, voy a ir por aquí. ¿Qué? No acabo de entender esta. Bueno, ha sido algo nuevo.
Wait, cut the music, go back and look at that fern. Stanley, this fern will be very important later in the story. Make sure you study it closely and remember it carefully. You won't want to miss anything.
Llamadme idiota, pero ¿qué es un helecho? ¿Es esta planta? ¿O es el techo? No lo entiendo. ¿Qué es un helecho? Creo que es la planta. Porque hasta ahora no he visto plantas. Bueno, he visto pocas. Pero me dice que esta planta es importante para la historia más adelante. Bien, pues a ver. Lo que veo es que es verde. Y tiene muchas hojas. ¿Qué más debo ver?
Wait, what? We're back at the office? No. Line, you do know we're looking for the Stanley Parable, right? The story? Is any of this ringing a bell?
La línea esta no se entera, va por donde le sale. ¿Otra vez?
Oh, no, not again. Line, how could you have done this to us? And after we trusted you, after everything we've been through, you... Oh, I can't take this anymore. To hell with it. Restart.
Ay, reinicios. Creo que lo vamos a dejar aquí, amigos. He grabado bastante, creo que incluso 40 minutos o más. Es que con este juego el tiempo se me va de las manos, se me va de los pies. Gracias por ver este vídeo y ya sabéis, tenéis que darme vuestra opinión si queréis que haga el tercer vídeo. A mí me gustaría mucho hacerlo. Y lo que vosotros no sabéis es que lo voy a grabar mientras vosotros aún no habéis visto este vídeo aún. Es como la lógica de Stanley Parable, pues la voy a aplicar. Vosotros, no sé qué ha sido eso, acabo de tragar aire. Vosotros tenéis que decirme si queréis que yo grabe la tercera parte, aunque yo ya la haya grabado. Y entonces os digo que la he grabado, aunque ella ya está grabada. De esa manera yo quedo bien. Gracias por ver este vídeo y nos vemos en próximos. Paz.